Welcome back into the Red Zone. North Central Sports Information Director Clark Teuscher joins us now. Busy weekend for Cardinal sports this past weekend. Let's start in Waverly, Iowa. Men's cross country just barely missing out on back-to-back national titles.
Yeah, they've been pretty lucky in past championships, so they haven't befallen some of the bad luck that happens to teams in big meets like that. You know, they had a runner lose a shoe about half a mile into the race. Another guy got knocked down, and they wound up getting beat by about 17 points by a team that really had a strong performance at Haverford College. You know, all things considered, a second-place finish is pretty good when you lose 5 All-Americans. I mean, not too many teams can say that they ever lost 5 All-Americans, period, let alone come back and finish second in the country. So certainly a proud day for the program. And
Michael Spain had been undefeated going into this one. He still runs a great race. He's 2 seconds behind the winner. Where does he rank as far as runners go in this program history? I mean, you look, he's quite decorated, 3-time All-American, runner-up nationally in 2009, undefeated this year going into nationals.
Well, there's a lot of big names to shoot for in the history of that program. 7 individual national champions among them, and I think, you know, when you think about the caliber of runner and the kind of leader that he's been, he's right up there in that group. In the conversation with some of those other guys, certainly would have liked to cap off his cross-country career with a national championship, but when you walk in, you know, with the kind of target on your back that he had, you know, you're going to get everybody's best effort, and that's exactly what he got on Saturday.
And still in Waverly, Amanda Lesh, the lone Cardinal that makes it to Wartburg for North Central. After she takes 3rd in the regional race, she comes home 15th place in All-American honors.
Yeah, and that was you know, really why she came back, was to see how good she could be against the best runners in the country, and certainly a favorable showing in cross country. So a great springboard for her into the track season.
And I have to ask, you know, she's a 6th Cardinal All-American in 24 years of this program. I imagine she ranks up there in the top echelon.
In the top 2 or 3. We've had some certainly very talented female runners in this program as well. But you'd put her right next to the top that have ever worn the uniform.
And the wrestling team also in tournament action at Concordia University Open with one of the team's heavier guys bringing home an individual championship.
Yeah, Billy Malone is a senior who sat out last season, won the title at 197 pounds. He was seated 3rd going into the event, and really didn't meet with that much opposition there. So that's 3 individual champions in the last 2 weeks for the Cardinals across a pretty broad spectrum of weight classes. So certainly good things, a sign of good things for the team in terms of where they might be able to finish in terms of team standings later in the season.
Definitely, and aside from him, a couple other guys bringing home some top 4 finishes. So overall, pretty good showing.
Yeah, definitely. They've really been pretty pleased with how they've been successful across, you know, the lighter weights as well as some of the heavier classes. So once they get into a little more of the meat of their schedule, we'll find out how well that holds up.
And both basketball teams holding their own tip-off tournaments here at home. For the women, a runner-up finish is encouraging for a young team really trying to figure out their own identity so far.
Yeah, they're still adjusting to the style of play that Coach Roof wants to play. She wants to get up and down and play a full-court type of game, and there's still probably too many turnovers and missed open shots for her liking. So it's going to be a work in progress probably for the whole season.
And over on the men's side, they struggled a bit in their bracket, still trying to replace some of the big holes they lost last season as far as scoring.
They pretty much have a completely different team than they had last year. A lot of guys in different roles, even among the ones that are coming back. So it's certainly a lot to work on there, especially on the offensive end in terms of getting some things executed and being ready once they're in those positions. So they've got another chance Tuesday night against Aurora. So you know, another chance for improvement and a chance to get on the win column.
And back to football as we look to this big matchup, Ohio Northern coming in to face North Central at Benedetti Worley. How are things for your interview requests? You guys been keeping busy with this big matchup?
It hasn't been too bad. I think with the holiday week and everything, you know, it's one of those things that's been kind of backed off a little bit. It'll probably pick up on Friday and Saturday. We're certainly not trying to look ahead or anything, but there's some preparations that you have to make if you host those games in the later rounds. So it's one of the things we're working on as well.
And also something I know you got to be looking forward to this matchup. We've almost played up all the angles here so far, but revenge game, a lot of things playing into this one. I'm sure it's pretty exciting for you as well.
Yeah, I mean, everything we've heard about Ohio Northern is that the styles of play between the two teams are very, very similar in terms of the strengths and the things that they like to take advantage of. So for people who like to see, you know, a team try to beat itself or to beat another team at its own game, it's certainly an ideal matchup.
Well, something we're all looking forward to.
Like, you bet.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's edition of the Red Zone. North Central's Drive for 5 continues on Saturday against the Ohio Northern Polar Bears. Kickoff is at noon, and you can catch the game right here on NCTV 17. I'm Alex Simmons. We hope to see you next time right back here.